So I'm going to show you how to do a curvy wave brim. So first we're going to make a slip knot. I'm going to put it on the first peg. We're going to take our loom hook, put it into the loop here, and scoop up the yarn. See? It's like that, a loop, and tighten it at the back. There. And then we're just going to put this loop behind the next peg, take the working yarn, put it through and snug it up. Behind the next peg, take the working yarn and snug it up. Behind the next peg, working yarn, snug it up. And you're just going to do that all the way around the loom. Just like that. And you can snug it up in one motion. I just have my kind of system here, and I just give it 3 tugs and it gets the right tightness. But whichever way works for you. You don't want it so tight you can't knit it over, but you do want it snug so your loops look nice. Okay, and I will just put you on pause and I will meet you up close to the end of this cast on. Okay, so here we are close to the end, and I'm going to do the last peg here, and then I'm just going to take the yarn and put it over, and then I'm going to knit it over. had trouble finding that loom hook. And if it's tight, you can just put them over one at a time. There. Okay, and that's already just a stitch on there. So we're going to now do a row of U-knit. So we put the yarn over the peg and just knit it over all the way around. So I will put you on pause again, and we will meet up near the end of the row. Okay, so I'm just nearing the end of the row now. Last peg, and then we're going to do a row of purl. So I'm going to go on the first loop and take the working yarn, put it through this loop, and pull up the working yarn and put it on the peg. Oop. Okay, so hook in here, take the working yarn, scoop it up, go up, and just put it on the peg. So one row of purl, and there's lots of videos on how to do a purl stitch. Okay, so I'll meet you up when we get all the way around again. Okay, so I'm just about to do the last peg in the row, and there's the purl. Okay, now we're going to be doing the brim, and the brim is a row of owl eye, a row of purl, a row of owl eye, a row of purl. Just keep repeating that. So to start the owl eye row, you do a U wrap over the first peg, and you come back around, wrap it, and wrap the second peg, and keep it loose and knit it over. Whatever peg you're on is peg 1, wrap peg 1 and 2 like that, and knit it off. And I have lots of videos on owl eye. Okay, on peg 1, in front of peg 1 and 2, run a peg 1, 1 and 2, And you just keep going all the way around the loom. Okay, so I will see you again when we get near the end of the row. Okay, and I'm just finishing off the row here. And then you come and then you give this its second wrap because you're at the end of the row, and you just wrap it. And then the first one is a purl, and you do your row of purl. So that's how you do it. And then when you get all around and you finish the purl, you do the wrap on for the first ally, and then come around and wrap it a second time to continue around. And you just keep going until you get the length that you want. And then you just start in with the stitch you're going to do with the hat. So I'm going to finish the brim, and we'll see you in a while. Okay, so here I am quite a ways around, and I'm just doing the purl stitch. And I was going to show you that something like if you put your work down and you're wondering what stitch you did and you don't feel like taking it out, and you're doing this stitch that we're doing in the brim, your purl stitch is going to have this little bit of work here on each peg. So you know that's the purl stitch. The owl eye stitch is going to look like this, and far back it's got work on both sides. See? Got some work right here and some work right here. Okay, so whereas the purl has nothing at all on this side and has the work right there. So that's how you'll know what stitch you're at. And my brim is pretty much the length that I want, and you can see how it looks here. And then it looks like this on the other side. Okay. And I'm just going to show you how to measure your brim, so you'll know how to measure, just in case you don't. Okay, so the brim you need to stretch the brim out a little bit. There we go. And then you're just going to take your measure and you're going to put it right here, right where the peg starts, and just hold it a little bit because it's stretched on the loom, and that is pretty close to 2 inches. So that's how long my brim will be, and when you get it off loom, it'll look a little longer than we're looking here. So that tells you how long to have it. And it's quite a nice stretchy brim, very comfortable. It tends to knit up, as you can see from how it is on this loom. You can see that it's pulling in, and it's going to be smaller than just an owl eye brim. It's going to be a little bit tighter for brims that you want to have a little bit tighter. And oh, what the cast on looks like. There's what the cast on looks like. So it's going to look really, really nice on your head. Right there. And so what you're going to do is just on your final row, you're just going to knit down to the end, or right in my case I'm purling. So we're just going to purl all the way down till we hit the peg there. Now that we've got the length that we want. So I'm just going to put you on pause while we catch up to there. Okay, I'm almost at the end of the row. Okay, so now when you start whatever project you're going to, there's your first peg to start on, and you'll be able to go directly into whatever else that you're going to do with the hat that you're making. Okay, and oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to show you is you don't get much of a jog. And what a jog is, it's when you go from one stitch to the other. When you go from knit to purl, you get quite a big jog, but when you're doing this particular curvy wave brim, as you can see, this is where we switched. You don't see very much difference here at all. You really can't tell. You have to really look. And it looks good all the way around. And if the tail wasn't here, you wouldn't be able to tell that we switched stitches right here from one to the other, because it's almost seamless. And that's one of the reasons I like doing this for a brim rather than garter. I love the way that it looks, and I just like it. It's got a nicer look to me, but whatever you like. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I do the brim,